Yeah.
So like whatever I felt like doing
That's crazy.
that day, I just walk in like
so it's just fucking legs. I was
like, think about it the night before. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I got a program. And then I get in, I'm the first one in, 20 minutes before class starts, whatever, turn on the lights. I'm like, all right, go to the whiteboard, WAD.
Yeah.
15 this,
That's nuts.
no, like
Luma still does that.
Like no thought about, can you even do this?
That's Luma Fitness.
Like,
Luma Fitness today, 2026. I just talked to one of their athletes. Every coach makes their own workouts.
That's
and
crazy.
And there's no sharing mechanism. There's no Excel
That's crazy.
spreadsheet. Dude, if you would see my old so I'd get those giant calendars.
Yeah.
At
like the big ass calendar thing. Yeah.
And that's what I would program on. So I would program in 6-week cycle.
Yeah.
If you saw that same calendar 5 weeks later, the changes and scratches and hey, population overly smoked on legs due to those wall balls, shift Wednesday to the,
totally.
It was a constant change, dude. If you're not doing that, like, God, the injuries and the.
Yeah. I know Bo programs.
He programs well.
He programs really well.
Yeah.
He thinks about it like weeks or months in advance.
Got to.
And then he lets us know like a week in advance, like every Sunday at like 4:00.
Yeah.
You can, the app starts lighting up like new workout. And everyone's like, fuck.
He does it. He releases them. I always did just the night before.
Yeah. He releases them the week.
I like
Sundays.
That. I would do that.
So if you're like trying to plan your week and you're like, okay,
it's a good way to do it.
I'm going to make it a point to be there on deadlift day or whatever. I love this movement.
Sure.
I'm going to kind of move my schedule around.
Yeah.
There's a methodology there, and at least you don't get just, like you said, smoked, because I wasn't at the gym yesterday, but I'm coaching today, and I'm just going to program something that's super similar to what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're overworking, and then you get fatigue and you get hurt. And it's like, well, no wonder everyone's getting injured.
100%, dude.
So it's wild.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Bananas that
good
they're
for
not
society.
programming.
I know.
That's wild.
Well, then you go to I can go on and on, but then you go to the CrossFit methodology of what they do. And I always had an issue with that when I programmed, because there's many days in CrossFit where it's like 5 times 3 deadlifts. And it's like, no, everybody wants a fucking workout too. Right. And I believe in separating strength in Metcon, but the majority of your athletes that are coming in today aren't there just to get stronger. They want to work out. So you got to throw some component.
Every single one of our work, like every single one of our days, there's a par day, and well, not every single. If there's a particularly long workout, like you have a 30-minute chipper, then you just do a long warm up and you get right to the chipper, and that's kind of it. But if like yesterday was heavy deads, like 3x5 deads, and then you supersetted that with handstand practice. So if you're handstand walking, or just doing pike push-ups, or just like trying to get inverted at all, like whatever your skill level is. And then the part B was, what was part B? Oh, it was 4 rounds of 20 lighter front squats at like 95 RX at the 400-meter run for time.
Oh, it's great.
With like a 10 or 12-minute time cap.
Yeah, simple.
So your legs are kind of smoked because you were warmed up on your deads. Like I went heavy because yesterday I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it was like, man, these 95-pound front squats are feeling very fucking heavy today.
Especially off a run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you obviously modify. So I'm not much of a runner because it hurts.
Yeah.
And I can run, but then I pay for it for like 2-3 days after. So I'm like an assault bike guy.
Sure.
So I'm like, do 25 cals on the assault bike, sub that.
Well, that's even more brutal than front squats.
It sucks.
Dude, there's no more brutal. I stopped programming assault to box jump.
Oh, no.
I had so many casualties, dude.
Shins are going to get ripped open.
Because that first jump, you think you're going 24, you're at 21.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every time.
You're going hard.
Well, we're already podcasting.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Right on.
Good. We've been recording.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, let's be some B-roll.
Some fun clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, sweaters.
Good or bad? Out.
Oh, we're getting wardrobe calls right now?
I'm just saying.
I got nothing under, dude. So it's either this or my chest.
It's gonna be a great shirt.
Nice.
Show the guns, dude. You're working for them.
There's too much going on with that collar and the.
Too much happening.
I need a stylist in my podcast studio,
I know, well,
man. You're hired,
if he doesn't catch me, well, this is for rent, by the way.
Yeah.
If he doesn't catch me, then my wife will.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like,
yeah,
your hair was fucked up. And I didn't know.
Dude, that's so much better.
Better? All right. It's actually better because it's not so hot. Cool. Well, that's how that works. So yeah, if you ever want a podcast, we make it easy here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll get ripping on the show. But yeah, we can talk about, so I want to talk about real estate for sure, but then we can talk about fitness,
whatever,
and
man.
CrossFit stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, life.
And you have what time is your cap?
I'm probably out of here at like 2:55.
Okay. So we got like 40-ish minutes. All right. Let's jump into it. Okay, ready?
Cool. Yep.
Hey everyone, welcome back to By the Bay. I'm your host, Dan Ancheta, and I am really grateful that you're here listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast or watching on YouTube, or maybe just watching a clip of us on Instagram. But thanks for following along with the show. And today I have Mike Ward with me. He's an exceptional real estate professional at LivXplore, which is a boutique real estate firm here in downtown Petaluma. And Mike, you have a cool background. We were just talking like fitness and CrossFit and stuff. I want you to introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll go from there.
How you doing? My name is Mike Ward, LivXplore Real Estate in Petaluma. I've been living and selling in Petaluma for the last 17 years. My meat and potatoes is probably Novato to Santa Rosa, but Novato to Roner Park is where about 90% of my business gets done.
You grew up in Novato, yeah?
I grew up in Novato.
Okay.
Yeah. So live here, moved up here in 2009, and that's the same year that I started real estate as well. I actually started real estate to buy my first place.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
You were your own agent for your first deal?
Tried to skip the commission component. Yeah.
That's smart. You're like, I might as well just take this test and get this done.
Yeah. When it started, the crash in 06, 07, then it started to go down. Then 09, I bought my first place. And
it's a good timing.
Yeah. I just thought it was, why not?
Yeah.
I was a teacher at the time. I taught history at Novato High School. And
yeah, that's right. Your background, you have a master's degree, right?
Yeah, I'm all over the place, man.
You've been
all
everywhere.
over the place. Yeah. So I was a teacher from 07 to 14, owned a gym in town from 2009, 10 to 2011, 12 to 21. And then, I was a partner in a restaurant up in Santa Rosa called Belly for 4 years, 5 years.
I remembered that.
Man.
Yeah. I was like,
just real estate now.
Yeah, just real estate.
The last 6 years.
So you were a history teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
All at the same time.
High school history teacher.
And
then you had CrossFit 38 North.
Yep.
Right. That was your gym in downtown Petaluma.
Yep.
Which I was like looking through, I was like, Googling you before, like he's been doing so much stuff,
so many different things.
But we've run parallel because I had a CrossFit gym here,
Yep.
CrossFit Petaluma, CrossFit Sonoma County this was the early days. So it's kind of cool background connection there.
Yeah.
What are you doing for fitness now?
It's all at my house. So when the gym
closed the gym and took all the equipment home. Yeah.
I did. So 21, it closed. I won't go on my soapbox about COVID, but didn't make it through that. And then shifted half. We had like a 60, 70-foot rig in the gym. I took half of that. We poured a concrete pad. So I got 2 shrimp trawlers, 6 squat bars, like 12 pull bars right in front of my wife. Actually looks out our bedroom window into it and makes a comment every single morning of how unattractive it
Shout
looks.
out Lindsay for tolerating your nonsense.
100%. She looks directly into it. And then right next to that, we're in the country, so we have a pump house that, for our well. So that houses another pull-up bar, multiple rowers, assault bikes, bars, dumbbells, all that stuff. So I can do everything but a sled pull.
Okay.
That's the only thing. And I've got this little sled thing. It's like leather that you can pull on grass.
Okay. So you don't mess up your concrete.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can kind of do that, but it's been good. It doesn't have the energy, right? It doesn't have the competitive component that the gym did. It doesn't have the social component that the gym did. I miss those things dearly, but I can walk down. I can come home, walk down, and be back up in the house in an hour and 15 minutes.
It's so cool because I still have some equipment from our gym that we closed, and it sits in the garage, and I touch it occasionally.
Yeah.
But like, I just can't get motivated to go out there and do it by myself.
A lot of people can't. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to go do the workout. I'll look it up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work out, pick a WOD off CrossFit.com or like off the gym's, app or whatever we're doing. Cause I go to Body English here in town and, great gym, by the way. And, and then I look it up and then I wind up doing the same 4 lifts that I like to do. And then I change the laundry and then I like fix that thing that's been bugging me in the garage.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, an hour's gone and the kids have interrupted me 4 times and it's like, just forget it. So I just kind of gave up on the whole gym thing. And I have to go to a class where it's pre-programmed. The coaches are like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And like, just do it. I don't have to think about it. And just, it takes me out of my element and just to focus on the fitness. But to what you said, like the community is super important.
But that's
I go to see my friends there now.
That's the most important, man. And I miss that the most. I mean, so when I owned the gym, right, especially in the beginning, I was coaching the majority of the classes and programming everything. So I didn't have the ability to jump in classes a lot because I was coaching them all.
Right.
So I got into this lane of this is how it's going to be, and this is how you're going to increase your fitness. This is what you're going to do. So what I did initially, and I still do today, is I've got a list of all the movements and categories of ones I'm the most proficient at and I like the most to least. And I take the least proficient movements or the ones I don't want to do, and I force program them weekly. So that's how I've always done it.
I don't have that
there is
mechanism.
no choice.
I would just be like, I'm going to deadlift today. That's it. And and then when I was going to one of the like bigger gyms here in town, just like the regular kind of traditional gym model, that's all I would do. I would just go warm up on the treadmill for a few minutes, and then I go stretch and I do some sit-ups, and I kind of goof around, and I go talk to somebody. I run into someone I knew from high school or whatever, or someone I used to do business with. And then I'd go do the same 4 exercises over and over again. And it wasn't bad. It just wasn't getting me
at that level
where I wanted to be.
Yeah, and your intensity, I would say my intensity is probably down 15% from my peak, right? Of when I was really like competitive and working hard. But that to me as well is okay. I've kind of come to grips with it. I'm 48. I'll be 49 in September. And for me now, I don't want to lose strength and I don't want to get hurt. Those are my 2 like main focuses. So I would say stretching, accessory work, warm down, sauna, cold plunge, all those things supersede my actual workout time in a day. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, that's really smart. I'm like getting comfortable with scaling and just being like, could I do this at the prescribed weight? Sure.
Yeah.
Am I going to? No, because I have other things I need to be doing, and I can't be hobbling around. Like trying to get the ego out of it and just being like, hey, I'm getting good fitness. I'm working out. I'm breaking a sweat. I'm doing good for myself and my body, my mental health. And that's kind of the best I can do.
Yeah. It's good enough though.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's been working good.
Yeah. You know what's surprising though, and I know we'll go on to other things, but I do 4 tester workouts every year, same ones.
Okay. So you have like benchmarks that
benchmarks.
Okay.
Yep. Every year I do it 4 times. I'm probably, I don't know, from like where I felt I was peak performance, I'm probably detached by 6 or 7 years from that point. I'm only 2% off.
That's really
1%
good,
off on the, you know what I'm saying? So
that's really good.
But that's everybody. Yeah. Everyone thinks that when they, like me, right? If I go on vacation and I come back, I was like, oh, your shoulders are gone. You got no chest, right? It's 5 days. Right? There's zero change in the way that I look optically, but that's just like the mental component.
No, it's true.
So for me, like I always thought you would just lose, but it's amazing what you can retain if you have the base and you've done it long enough. You can do less and stay healthy and still retain. And it's been a positive thing for me to experience.
I think for me, it's like lifestyle, where it's like it's in my mind where I want to be able to perform at the gym and get a good workout and like and feel good doing it. So then I eat differently and I treat my body differently.
Sure.
And I get enough sleep, and like all that stuff continues whether I'm going to the gym 5 or 6 days a week, or if it's a week like last week, I think I went twice because I just had an incredibly busy week and I just couldn't. I tried to fit it in, and it was like I just can't. It was like kids needed stuff, other stuff was happening. I had important meetings I had to get to. I had stuff I had to do, and it interfered with my normal schedule. But it's like, okay, look, but I still ate well. I still rested well. I still did the recovery work I need to do. I still did I have like terrible flexibility in like shoulder and like anyway, so like certain movements are super hard for me. So I'm like focusing on how do I open those things up, and I'm seeing a physical therapist, and you know the drill.
And I do the same thing, but the vacations I don't. I get weird on vacations, and I always have.
I never work out on vacation.
Oh, I don't. I'm so regimented on a daily basis. Like it's so like if I said everything I did and how I did it, your audience would be disgusted, to be honest. Like
we gotta make one of those like videos of like the 4 a.m. wake up.
It's not normal, man.
It's not
wake
up. We're doing the banana peels.
Dude, I literally if Andrew Huberman says it, like I'm trying it and I'm implementing it. But on vacations, I get loose. Like I eat what I eat. I don't work. I mean, maybe I'll get a workout the first day. But then after that, I'm not working out. I'm spending time with the family.
But you have kids, right? So you're chasing them around.
It's a wasted 2 hours.
We go on vacation. It's like we're going to Disneyland. Well, dude, I'm like 20,000 steps, 30,000 steps in Disneyland, pushing a wagon or pushing a stroller around all day. It's like, dude, that's work.
It is work. And it's good to rest the body.
Yeah.
It's good to have 6 days where there's no pressure on your joints or anything else, right? You come back refreshed and feel terrible the first workout, but then you click back into a rhythm. So
totally,
I think it's a positive thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that's the background. So teacher, gym owner, restaurant owner, did all that stuff. Yeah, and now your sole focus is real estate.
Sole focus in real estate. I mean, real estate probably was, even towards the end of the gym, in the restaurant was the sole focus. Once I stopped teaching in 2014, I was in Austin I had all those jobs running concurrently at the same time. And I was in Austin with my soon to be wife, girlfriend at that point. And we were sitting at breakfast and I was like, I'm gonna quit teaching. She's like, huh? I go, and I walked out. It was in the summer, and I walked out of the restaurant and I called the district.
Oh, dude.
And I said, I'm not coming back. So at that moment, that's when real estate really started to take over. So it's been a good 12 years of like really focused on real estate. And then because the gym at the end too, it was more of a managerial role where I was coaching 4 to 5 classes, but then I had like, or maybe I had 3 to 4 classes. I had like 7 other coaches.
Right.
So I could do a lot more. And then when that went out in 21, then it was like, in the restaurant I sold back in 19. So it was all in on real estate and the singular focus. And, it changes in a component too, right? Like when you're, the main provider for a family and your sole focus is one thing and that's your income stream, there's a different motivation every single day you wake up.
Yep.
So it was a hugely positive thing for my career and my production over the last 7-9 years, but especially the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think it's good lessons kind of going from owning and managing the gym, managing a team for performance, coaching them, like coaching the coaches. And so like that translates really well to your real estate career because you're coaching these people that you're your clients, and you're also maybe building team, right? Yeah. And then other people around you at your brokerage to like, hey, here's like from a coaching perspective, I'm watching what you're doing. Like I'm watching your movements, I'm watching your behaviors, I'm watching the things that you're doing. And like, are you getting the results that you want? And maybe you can like, help people with their business practice because you have like an eye for, that coaching eye, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's a good point you make. Can I say it to people all the time is, owning a gym and then being very passionate about CrossFit for as long as I was. The one thing I really took from that is you need to be coached in every aspect of life. So no matter what you do, no matter how proficient you are at what you do, there's someone who does it better and someone who knows more.
Yep.
And to have less of an ego and go out and try to seek out those people for help has been massively beneficial for me.
I always laugh when people are like, I don't need a coach, I'm successful. I'm like, dude, who's the most successful athlete that you can think of?
Exactly.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Gretzky?
Yeah. Best coaches in the world.
But they had coaches.
Yeah. Phil Jackson. Best. Yeah.
The best athletes, right? Like Steph Curry has someone who helps him with his shot. Yeah. Even though he is the best shooter ever.
And a different person helping him with strength and a different person with that. You know what I mean? There's multiple.
And there's probably someone helping him with his mental health and trying to help him keep that competitive edge and like stay sharp and like deal with all the stuff that we deal with as humans.
For sure. More people should reach out if they have the ability, right? Because it costs money.
Sure.
But I think if more people did that, regardless of the age, they would see their careers absolutely blossom.
Yeah. So tell me about that. So do you have a coach? How's it work
I've been in and out with coaching with real estate. But I have an accountability group I have multiple groups, but one that I meet every 2 Fridays. And the person that leads that kind of holds everyone accountable. We have certain goals or targets that we're reaching in terms of calls and cards and whatever your goals are. Then every 2 weeks we come and we talk about the successes and the failures, talk about if we hit our goals, if we didn't hit our goals, why. You don't want to hit your goals every single week because if you do, they're not high enough goals.
You're not reaching too high.
So it's a good thing to kind of constantly be changing in the process that you're working in the volume at least. So I got that. I've gone in and out of real estate coaching, but I find sometimes the larger coaches like the Ferries and the Buffinis and things of that nature, it's not as personalized, and also it's more generic in like the marketing. And I love to create my own marketing and kind of have my tone and my voice in it. And so I've pulled a little bit further away from those. But throughout my life, no matter what I've done, like when we started the restaurant, we brought in, basically a restaurant coach that helped create the menu and the interior design. When I was in the gym, I studied under Freddie Miles for Olympic lifting for 4 years because I want to get better at that.
Is he still around?
He's not. He moved back to the Midwest. He got a job at a college, strength and conditioning coach.
It's like miles ahead.
He was the man, dude. He was so good.
A ton of athletes that were going. I went to a few classes over by Redwood Empire Gymnastics on Payram. He had a spot there. What a cool, Olympic lifting. He was so talented.
He changed the game for me because that was my, I never had an Olympic lifting background. And when you come in, I don't care what your strength or capacity is, you're not going to be good at Olympic lifting right off the bat.
I joke with people, like new people at the gym, oh, yeah, we're doing snatch or whatever we're doing clean and jerk. I'm like, this is really hard. I'm like, listen, this is an entire Olympic sport.
100%.
People spend their entire lives, their entire careers doing these very simple looking but incredibly complex movements. You're not going to get it in one session.
Been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
You're not going to get it in one session.
No,
you're going to have to drill this and practice it and like break it down and
totally.
And it's hard.
It is
hard.
But that highlights the fact of like, hey, that's your weakness. Like, okay, how are you going to get better? One is repetition. The second one is someone watching you do the repetition.
Yeah.
And so every component of life, probably the last 10 to 12 years, I've tried to add some aspect of coaching into it, or be held accountable in some way.
Yeah. I've had coaches similar, like you said, the Buffinis and the fairies. Pick your fairy flavor that you want, right? There's a few of the different, Tom or Mike. But anyway, great. I think there's a great place laying the foundation for here's the type of behaviors and things that you need to be doing if you want to be successful. I also think there's a different type of coaching where it's more like digging deeply within you.
Yeah.
And like, not necessarily did you make a number of calls, but like, are you being the person that you want to be? And someone who's kind of like guiding you. It's more like life coaching in a way, but not so, kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, it's, but I've pivoted because I've had multiple business coaches where it's like, got to make this number of calls per day. You got this many contacts per day. And it led me to the results. It was like, great. My pipeline went from here to here. And I went from closing 3 loans a month to closing 10 loans a month, like simply by doing the things that they told me to do. And I had that coach for 5 or 6 years. And it was just like monthly check-ins and then also kind of having her on retainer when I had a hard business decision to make, to be able to call her and be like, hey, Teresa, I don't know what to do here. Like, what do I do next? I need to grow. I need to scale, or things aren't going well. Like things aren't working. And she always, she could tell me what to do, which was great. But I've moved on to kind of a coaching situation where it's more like, hey, I'm not really reaching the potential that I have because there's something within me that's blocking me from doing that. And it's not because I'm not making the calls. I'm doing that stuff. It's because there's something else that's missing and trying to like discover what that is. And part of it has to do with drive, and part of it has to do with like overcoming fears and kind of internalized things that kind of hold you back from achieving. Anyway, it's a really interesting. So I'm a huge believer in coaching and having someone and no matter how good you are, right? You could be the best top loan officer, the best top realtor. Everyone needs a coach.
Well, yeah. And in those two examples, I think the way I've always looked at it is like the fairies or the Buffinis, that's the launching pad, right? Yeah. So that gets you going to space. But once you're in the air, every degree is massive, right? If you're a degree off, you're ending up on Mars instead of the moon. So that's where I think that individualized coaching while you're in the air, just the little tweaks goes a long way, because the thing in real estate, and I'm sure in loans as well, is when you get busy, right? When the onslaught comes, when spring hits, when it's in summer, when you got 3, 4, 5 deals going at once, what is the first thing that goes out the window?
Prospecting.
The bullshit. Yeah. Right. I hate to call it that. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, sorry. The BS. So that stuff goes out the window, right? The calls, the car. What got you 4 deals? The BS got you the 4 deals, the work. So that's the stuff where to be you need to be rebalanced sometimes, I think. So you can have a system to be like, regardless of how busy I am, I'm getting this done, or at least a large percentage of it, so that pipeline stays full.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it on the show before, but it's like the roller coaster. I've got 3 deals. I've got no deals. I've got 2 deals. And every month you can see the people. I can look at my production sheets for the loan officers who are listening. Yeah. They're closing consistently. Now, sometimes they close 2 and then it's 4 and then it's 5 and then it's 1, but they're doing it consistently because they're continuing to do those. They're doing the unpleasant behaviors, like making the calls and doing the follow-up and getting hung up on, like they're doing all those things consistently. And the ones who go from 4 to 0, 2 to 0 are the ones who get 4 deals in the contract and they wrap their arms around them and they hold on tight to their 4 little deals and they get them done, and clients are happy. They get paid. Wonderful, wonderful. And then there's nothing left. And they're like, where are all the deals? Like, well,
for sure.
You didn't go plant more seeds last month.
Yeah.
You didn't go make those connections. And those clients that you thought were going to use you wound up using somebody else because you didn't call them.
And that puts you on the emotional roller coaster too, because I mean, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been blessed with having a very consistent yearly production, no matter the month or the season. But before that, I mean, my wife will tell you stories where it was, 4 deals, no deals. And I'm coming home and I'm saying like, yeah, we're not getting filet mignon anymore, right? Like, we got to go skirt steak this week. In my mind. And then a month later, you got 4 deals and you're like Maui, Kauai, where do you want? It's such an up and down in our business.
And it is so hard on the family.
It's super
so hard on, like,
it is.
I've been in that position. and yeah, we've had that discussion many times.
100%.
And sometimes recently, because like rates go up, rates go down.
Yeah.
Pipeline is full, pipeline's empty. And it's like, this is really scary.
It can
it's
be.
like, it's so taxing.
It is.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of professionals in our business, when they have money, they spend money.
Yeah.
We're not good savers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
the other thing to have a coach in.
I guess I say one of the things I learned from my coach was like, hey, during good years and the money's coming,
this much
you
goes
gotta save, because there's gonna be balance, and there's gonna be a year that you make $70,000 total.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be years where you make $70,000 a month.
Yep.
And you have to be set up to be successful personally.
Sure.
No matter what.
Yeah.
What kind of year it is.
Yeah. And I think it's important too, at least at this part of my career, and especially the last 6 years, like I said, that it's been really clicking, is having the faith that if you're doing the work and the belief in yourself, that it's going to come. Right. Where maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when it got, cricket, you start hearing crickets for a month, you're like, do I have to switch careers? Is this the end? Is the market shifting?
Dude, I've had that conversation so many times.
100%, right?
I'm like, I don't know if I have the heart for this. I don't know if I can do this. Like, it's because it's so taxing.
It's so taxing. But now it's like, no, I don't care if it's quiet for 3 weeks. It's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I did my calls, I did my notes, I met this person, I did this and that. Like, at some point it's there. I don't have the same component of stress.
Yeah. I remember days where it's like, hey, I've got all these clients, but no one's getting into contract. You just can't get them. Like, I'm doing this stuff.
Get that too, yeah.
I just can't get them into contract. Or, hey, I got someone in contract and they changed lenders on me at the last second.
Yeah.
And it turns out that their cousin's a lender. And I've been talking to them for 2 years.
The cousin.
And then the cousin comes around.
The cousin or the aunt.
And exactly. And then it's like, well, you don't get that deal. And you don't get paid for all the work you put into it. You only get paid if you are the one who closes them.
And people don't see that. It's really, what's really interesting, and I'm sure you get this as well, and in real estate, I'm not saying real estate is laying asphalt. It's not. But it is not as easy as it looks. I can tell you that.
Yeah. It's hard in different ways.
Full-fledged. It's hard in different ways.
I would rather
people look and they're like, oh, you just walk into the first house and you sell it, you get $25K. But the amount of time to get that deal, to get that person, to get him in, then to negotiate the deal, to have the relationship with the other, there's so many facets that people don't realize. And I think you see it in our industry because a lot of people jump in and then 2 years later they're out.
Well, it's basically like being like, okay, I watched Shohei Ohtani hit and he makes it look easy. So baseball is just easy. Yeah. Because Shohei he just makes it, anyone could do it. It's like, well, you don't understand that there are hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to just make it into the big leagues. Yeah. And they're just in the farm system, they're playing independent ball and they're making no money. This is the same thing in real estate. There's so many people who are technically baseball players, right? And they are realtors and they're scratching out a couple of deals a year, even though it's a full-time gig for them. They're working hard and they're closing 2 deals a year. And
you're seeing those people. I think the latest stat I just heard, I think this year they're 20%. I think between last year and this year, they're expecting 20% of the realtors that were active
to not
in
renew.
2023 to not renew.
Yeah.
That's a fifth. Of all realtors in the country.
We're seeing that too on the lending side.
Because
the number of licensees is going down dramatically.
Yeah, because if you started in 21,
oh dude,
you could throw anything at the wall and it stuck. But now it's a totally different ballgame into how to list a house, prep a house, find a buyer, go into negotiation. It's totally different than 2000. Just 5 years, right? Totally different career.
Yep.
And if you're not founded in and rooted in those, consistent habits, then when it comes to this, the one deal a year is not even going to cover your expenses or barely for the amount of work you come in.
Yeah.
So
it's a hard business, man.
It is.
And anyone who's makes it past, 5 years, I'm just like, I clap for you.
Totally.
Good job. Because it is brutal. Some days, some weeks, some months, it's just like, man, what are we doing here? This is impossible.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially when you connect with people and you really care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but I really get to know my clients and I genuinely have love for them, like every single one in different ways. And it's like, okay. And then, you working through these things, they're telling you all these like deep personal financial things and tell you about their family plan. They're doing all sorts of stuff. And it's like, man, it's gutting when they just like basically break up with you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I just feel like, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that having a competitive mindset is also really important, kind of going back to like that physical fitness and kind of that idea. It's like, it's a process. Just like getting healthy, getting fit, real estate is a process. You have to do all the crummy hard work. You have to do the movements that you don't like to do if you want to have the success that you want to achieve. And so I think that's a good kind of parallel for and connecting those two ideas. For me, real estate is really, really fun and exciting. It's also really like a challenge, and it's a good puzzle to be working on kind of consistently, because as soon as you think you have it figured out, the game changes and it's like, okay, now I've got to learn and adapt. And I've never wanted to be in a profession where it's like, well, I can just clock in and clock out. I don't have to think too hard about it, because like that's, to me, is kind of wasting away. I like something that's a challenge. I like something that's I have to keep sharp, and I need to keep working on it. And as soon as I kind of get really fixed on and get this system worked on, or my home buyer presentation gets really dialed in, well, then rules change and programs change and consumer behavior changes, and I have to keep pivoting.
Sure.
The market right now is kind of in flux in my experience. So what do you think is going on in the market right now for the markets that you're serving, which is basically like Novato to Santa Rosa?
Yeah.
Ish.
And I think, obviously the vast majority is Petaluma, and that's what I know the best. And I think it's pocket driven right now, right? So if you look at Rohnert Park, in the last year and a half, there's, in my opinion, been a decline. There's been a decline in values for sure.
Okay.
There's been a decline in buyers going into listings. They overbuilt Rohnert Park, not in a lot of people's perspective. California should be building more, but there was a lot of new builds that came in at the same time.
Right. A whole new neighborhoods and developments
massively, right? And so that also has spurred a lot more inventory, driving prices down a little bit. But then if you look at West Petaluma and you got a single level close to town and it's priced right, it's gone and it's going over.
Right.
So I think it's totally, I've seen Novato has pulled back a little bit in my eyes, depending on where it is in the town. Not massively, but it's definitely not as competitive as it's been in the last 4 or 5 years. I think West Petaluma supersedes Novato in a lot of senses right now.
Oh, I think so for sure.
In terms of the desire, right? I think people figured out in COVID when they could, kind of go on hybrid systems at their jobs and they can drive. Petaluma's a hell of a town, right? Like we've got a lot going on here between downtown, schools, housing, the historic aspect.
The climate's great.
Climate's great. Beach, we got Dillon that's 25, 30 minutes away. We've got wine country, Healdsburg you get to in 33 minutes. You got San Francisco you can get to in 45, 50 without traffic. So we're blessed to live in a town.
35 the way I drive. I can go real quick.
Depending on how you drive for sure. But we're blessed in a town that is desired.
Yeah. Right.
And I think we're protected. And that's something I tell my clients a lot as well. Like, is there going to be an up market and a down market? Of course there is. Are you going to lose equity in a down market? Yes, you are, but you're way more protected than other towns that surround us. So everything that I've always told my buyers, when you buy for 5 to 7 years minimum. And I think if you hold that true, and most people do, I think you're going to be in a good situation. Because 22, the interest rates start going up, which you know better than anyone. And there's been like 4 different markets within the last 4 years.
Oh, and it's been changing so fast.
And it always does.
We had early this year, we had like a refi market.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey man, we've been waiting for this for years.
Yeah.
Right. It was like, in 2024, the saying was survive to 25.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It was like, 24 was not a great year at the mortgage market. You just got to survive. And once you hit 2025, man, the refis will start coming out. All the economics are going to line up. Rates are going to go down. Everyone who has a 6 and a 7 interest rate is going to be refinancing in the 5s. Money's going to start pouring in. It's going to be great. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
25 didn't happen. And it's like, okay, 2026, here we go. Same idea. And, kind of started getting a little taste of that early this year. Rates got into the 5s and then not so much.
Global, craziness.
Global energy prices start going up and tariffs and war and this and that. And I was like, okay, we're back into 6s. We're like mid to high 6s in some cases, depending on your credit and all these other things. So we're back to where we were in 23.
Yeah.
And so I think, interestingly, the more time that goes on, the separation from when you could get a sub 4, sub 5 interest rate. I'm not sure where you guys are at, but we're like 2.75 on ours. Like the more time that separates us from that time period, the more home buyers there are that bought in a 6 or 7 interest rate market. Yeah. And now that house doesn't work for them anymore because it's been 3 or 4 years since they bought, right? 2022 is when rates started going up. So it's been 4 years and now my family's expanded. So I've got a 6 rate, but I can also just trade that for another 6 rate. So I'm not
Yeah.
tied in. I'm not locked into that rate
Totally.
situation. So I think we'll see more inventory coming up, but I think there's a lot of uncertainty and fear going on because we don't know what's going on with equity markets. There's a lot of, turmoil politically. There's, this midterm election happening.
Yeah.
There's a Fed chair that's going to be replaced. There's like so much stuff that can drastically change the trajectory of where rates go. And therefore, in some markets, that really, really drives prices, right? Interest rate changes, prices change with it. I'm not sure if Petaluma and some of the parts of Sonoma County are really that sensitive to interest rate because there's so much cash and other things like that. But, and a lot of people holding a lot of equity. But I think in a lot of markets that will dictate kind of overall national economic policy, they're really waiting for these things to happen so we know who's going to have control of what, who's going to be able to make what decisions and what the policy is going to look like.
Yeah. And I think those loans, those 2.5 loans that a lot of us have and that have, the golden handcuff basically to the house. I think that's part of the reason the price has stabilized in West Petaluma because a lot of people aren't moving and bumping for that next bedroom in 500 square feet. So I think that combined with this huge influx of baby boomers selling massive houses and rolling over cash to a smaller single level, like those are the two things that are really kind of,
If you got like a 3-2 or 3-1 bungalow right now in downtown Petaluma, you can sell it off market in 10 seconds
if it's done
over
yeah
pretty wild.
And that's the other component, right? Is like, I don't know, 18, 19 work materials way cheaper. People who are buying now don't want to do a lot of work anymore. That's sweat equity component that I really pitch to clients in like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They want stuff that's done, especially the younger market that's looking. They do not want to do the work. So for me, because I'm predominantly sellers right now, 65% probably sellers, 35% buyers, that prep of that home is everything, right? Of getting it polished, getting it painted, redoing the floors, redoing the pools, being almost an interior designer, coming in and really like being an asset to them for design. Those are the ones that sell. If you're throwing something on like you did in 2021 that paint's peeling, floors warped over here, original kitchen, you're not getting the price you want.
Right.
So you got to put in
that market, that house was selling multiple offers over ask, no contingencies. It was a frenzy.
Yeah.
And, those days are done.
Sure.
So I think you're right. It's really into the prep and making sure that, especially for a turnkey buyer, that it's like, hey, I can just walk right into this. I want an experience, right? That's what a lot of these consumers are like. I want it curated. I want an experience. I don't want to have to go and pick all this stuff out. I want it to be done for me. And I'm willing to pay a premium for it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live through construction. I don't want to figure out that stuff. I want to plug my life into this existing house and then go from there.
And that component that you just talked about also, I think, is a protection for my career, right? As good as AI can get, it's not coming in with white gloves and holding your hand through the process, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe it will in 10 years if Elon, makes those robots that can do everything.
So. Yeah.
But that component, I think, especially in our market, Marin, Sonoma County, where people do have a little bit more money and are used to probably getting their hand held a little bit more in the industries that they go into or need help with. I think that component's more important than ever of making that connection, being there to answer the questions, being there to help every component, every step of the way in preparation, and explanation. I think those are the realtors and the lenders that are going to continue to have success through any market.
Yeah.
Right?
I think another like adding on to that, like having the right team, like not like lender, realtor for sure, but then all the service providers that go along with it.
Title,
like, that and making sure that you're like the plumber, the electrician, like you can refer all these people and that you can have a team of people who are ready to go and do the work so that if you have a homeowner who's going to sell, like maybe you preemptively replace that panel that's going to be an insurance issue for a buyer. So then that just like takes another thing off the list that prevents someone from making an offer.
For sure.
Maybe you go and maybe you don't redo the whole kitchen, maybe you do some, But
you can lipstick it up.
You can lipstick it.
Yeah.
And you can get that curb appeal going. And you can put down some bark in front of the house and make it kind of get some curb appeal.
100%.
That was not necessary years ago, but I think it's crucial.
It's crucial
now.
And it's crucial having those vendors that are good at what they do and priced right.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, man. When you're going out and looking at vendors, the prices that come back that you see are mind-boggling. Just the interior paint on a house. Right? Like that's, And I'm hoping at some point, I don't know how that changes and goes back. I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle, But like, if you have a vendor that is consistent and you can depend on them, which is the biggest thing, right? Because I've seen
they show up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, or they get a bigger job somewhere else. All of a sudden, they're splitting for 3 days. You're going on the market in 9 days. You still need the cabinets painted and the floor redone. Like, you got to have those relationships. Like, those are so valuable in our industry of like, hey, I work with you 9 to 14 times a year. If we need a job done, like, and you say you can do it in 7 days, it's going to get done in 7 days.
You're going to make it happen.
100%. And I think that's huge. And I think the more experience, the more time you have in the industry, like, you build those relationships if you're good enough with people, and your clients appreciate it. Like, I got one right now, we're re-upping and, paint, refinishing the floors, build a new deck out back, new sod that went down, new fixtures. It's a lot of work, and we got it done between 2 vendors.
Yeah.
Right.
What's cool is that when you have like a critical mass of business where you are a big enough agent where you can kind of go, hey, like, I need you to take care of this deal because there's also 15 more deals like it coming later this year. So, but if you're like a onesie twosie, you maybe don't have that pool.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing 2 deals, 2 listings a year, maybe you don't have that pool to be able to negotiate price on behalf of your. So I think like working with the right agent, and just kind of stressing this again, but like working with the right agent that meets your needs is going to get to know you, understand you, and then like with them comes the tool bag of, here's the people that I know, here's the right people that are going to come help fix up the house, and we're going to stage it right, and we're going to do this, we're going to prep it, and we're going to maximize the value.
Yeah.
Right. Adam, it might cost you some money.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna have to pay a little bit of cash to get this done. But look, if we sell it as is, you're gonna get 800,000.
Yeah.
If you listen to me and you spend 10 grand, you're gonna get something in the 9s.
Sure.
Is it worth it to you to do that? If not, let's just throw it on the market and sell it for whatever we can get.
Yeah.
But most people want to maximize what they can get.
Yeah.
So hire someone who knows what they're doing, that comes with a team that's ready to perform and like turns it around quickly for you.
And hire a realtor that they can guide the clients in an effective way, right? And set like realistic expectation. Because that's another thing. Like, I've got a bunch of listings, right? And when you get a buyer's agent that comes in who hasn't set the right like expectation, like that crushes a deal. So I think a huge, and I know you guys have this as well with floating rates and all these different things of when to lock and when not to lock. But like as a realtor, like you got to give a realistic like picture. I know some realtors will come in, like, let's say it's $1 million house and be like, yeah, 1.3, get the listing. And then all of a sudden there's 14 reductions and you're down at $1,080,000. That's not how I do business.
Right.
Set a realistic price, be realistic with your clients. Even if it loses you a deal, that's okay. You know what I mean? I'd rather much be the realtor who is on point with pricing and the clients are getting that or above than the realtor that's getting the listing at 1.3 and reducing 6 times. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Right.
So I think that's a huge component of our career.
I think there's some people though that have the opposite, where like, hey, look, I'll tell the client whatever I need to tell them to have them sign the dotted line.
For sure.
And then I'll just, force them to do a price reduction. And then I'll wind up getting the deal. And like, well, Mike told the truth.
Yeah.
I got the deal.
Yeah.
And I just, that part of the business.
It happened to me twice last year.
It drives me nuts.
And in both those houses sold for under
what you said.
Yeah, about 20 grand under what I said.
See,
and they reduced $300K, both of them. One was 350, one was 310.
That type of business model,
it's crazy,
drives me nuts.
And it is what it is.
Can't we all tell the truth?
I know.
Like I've lost deals because, market rate is 6.5
for sure,
but they're not in contract. So they're, pre-approved buyer, they're shopping around, they're making some calls, and someone goes, oh, 599. I'm like, really? Dan, you said it was 6.5. I'm like, yeah, that guy's lying to you.
100%.
Like, I don't know what to say, but like, that's just not the truth.
But from those clients, what I've found is if that is the way you run your business, if you are honest, you've got integrity, and you're hitting that pricing off the bat, even if you lose a couple deals a year based on other people basically buying the listing and coming in way higher than you, that client that you stood by is going to refer you far more deals.
You have to play the long game for sure.
Yeah, you do. And it does.
That's totally happened too, where the guy, they wind up closing and I'm like, hey, what'd you wind up? Well, 6.5, just kind of what you said. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that you closed.
Yeah.
Bummer that I didn't get the deal.
Sure.
I would really like to be the one who like brought that home for you. And then they're like, you know what? We'll never use anyone else besides you.
Yeah.
And next time we need something, we'll holler at you. And anyone else that we hear of that needs a loan, they're going to come your way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll hold you to.
Yeah.
I'll hold you
it's a good feeling.
Yeah. No, it feels good. I mean, obviously it stinks to not to get paid, but it's all, you got to play the long game for sure. All right, we got to wrap up here. But so if someone's like being a home buyer right now, advice you have for a home buyer?
Advice I have for a home buyer, be patient. I would say if it's just you, you can formulate like your wants and desires, but also know in real estate with a house, when you're picking a house, you're not going to get everything, right? Unless you got all the money in the world, then all bets are off. You can get anything. But if you're like most of us, have the core things that you want in a house and stick to those and have the ability to kind of say, okay, I can give and take on these 3 things. Most people, it's size, location, lot, right? Those are the 3, not even conditions sometimes, but those 3 main things. If those are your 3 things, go to the location you want, get the size you want, get the lot. But if it's the perfect kitchen, okay, you can fix that, right? If it's not the perfect layout in the backyard, you can fix that. If it's not, so I would say be realistic in that component and be patient as a buyer, and communicate with your realtor, right? Like everything, all the ups and downs, what you're feeling, be honest, be open, because they're only going off what you're telling them. And if you can be open at all times, regardless, no one's feelings are ever going to be hurt. I think he's going to, or she's going to lead you to the house you like.
Okay. And last question, advice for home sellers right now.
Prep your house, like prep it and price it right. Like those are the two big things. I think prep is everything right now. I think you go in and within your budget, right? It does not have to, you're not remodeling things. You are just refreshing every component that you can within your budget. Make sure your realtor's got a great media team, right? Great photographer, great drone person, great Matterport person, great title rep, great lender, right? If you're building, like you said before, this team of unbelievable professionals that have been hand selected, it's going to go better. I mean, it's just to deduce it to that, right? So I would say if you're a seller, prep it, price it right, and sell that house, man, because I think I've had how many listings so far this year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. None have sat so far. They've all, 2 have sold off market, and the other, I think 4 or 2 are coming on. So the other 2, I think got an offer within the first 12 days, 13 days. So that's, you're doing something. I'm not saying just me, but that means it was prepped right.
You can say just you.
Right.
That's good.
Well, no. But I mean, I know that sounded bad, but if those things that I just mentioned were all done, that's going to be the result, right, in this market. So I think every once in a while, a seller is going to lead you to the pricing, and they're not going to budge on it. And then it's, but even in that situation where the seller's higher, you can say, okay, listen, we get 21 days. You get 85% of your views in the first 21 days. If this thing doesn't sell, we need to have a serious conversation about a reduction on the 21st day. And that's another component that we talked about before of being realistic and setting expectations. So I think if you do those things, you can find some success. Although there's challenges as well. I think the successes outweigh the challenges.
Love it. Mike Ward, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I'll make sure your contact information, social links, and all this stuff is in the show notes.
Cool.
And appreciate you being on By the Bay. And man, we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me.